We are in eclipse season now, and this week is of particular importance about how we're going to utilize or enjoy the new moon solar eclipse in Leo that will hit on August 12th. Now, this week is important leading up to this eclipse because we have a last quarter moon in Taurus this week on Wednesday. And this is about clearing out. Last quarter moons are about clearing things out. The fact that it's in Taurus with Chiron, which is now in Taurus also, is pretty prominent here, showing, okay, this is our first little window into being able to release things that are going to set our hearts free. Because the lunar eclipse in Leo with Jupiter, with the, solar eclipse in Leo with Jupiter, with the South Node, and with Mercury is like, there's a window here where you can enjoy your heart, you can enjoy your life to the fullest. And anything that's in the way of that will get exposed for you so that you can really look at it. I think a lot of this does have to do with traumas, obviously, things in our bodies that make it hard for us to relax and feel the full spectrum of pleasure in life. And the nodes now on the Leo Aquarius axis are, of course, going to activate these Plutonian themes with Pluto and Aquarius, which are stretching out here over the next 10 years. And so there are some big themes here that we've really stepped into since that last full moon with the full moon in Aquarius. So now is the time to ask, where are you still caring about things that you don't need to care about anymore? That you've evolved past needing to care about those things or worry about those things. But my favorite part of this week is, especially with Mars that is in Gemini still. But my favorite part about this week is we have the sun in a trine with Saturn. This is a very friendly aspect between two planets that are pretty much opposed. Leo, the sun rules Leo, Saturn rules Aquarius, these two opposites. And even the moon and Saturn have this opposition here where the moon moves 28 and a half days throughout the zodiac, and Saturn moves 28 and a half years through the zodiac. Of course, Saturn rules Capricorn, and the opposite sign, Cancer, is ruled by the moon. So the two lights, the sun and moon, have this opposition to Saturn. But this is a week where Saturn in Aries is now in a harmonious aspect over to the sun in Leo. So this is a week that bridges, discipline and how we need to structure and limit ourselves, and reel some habits in, reel some things in that maybe have gone to excess, where we can come back into balance and moderation. And it's bridging discipline with life, with the life force, with this energy that we have here in Leo. So the biggest thing to know this week is that this is the wrapping up of things so that we can really anchor into our hearts with that solar eclipse in Leo on the 12th and bring in a new life into our world, a new life, a new energy into our routines, into our own personal, way of living. And this is about also instilling a new life into doing the things that we care the most about, going for the goals that we most want to accomplish. Hello, Melanie. And so use this week. The way to use this week is with that last quarter moon in Taurus on Wednesday. This is the time to really clear things out. This is about energy clearing, especially in the body. Are you doing readings? Yes, I'd be happy to do a reading here live. So this is about letting things be cleared out. The moon in Taurus, the last quarter moon in Taurus, is about really thoroughly, doing some deep cleaning. And of course, it relates to the body. Taurus relates to the body. Taurus is the sign of possessions, and the body is the first thing that we possess that we can really truly say is ours. And so this last quarter moon is saying what needs to be cleared out of the body so that you can hold in more joy. So you can hold or express more authenticity, more energy, more love for your life and for yourself and for the people around you. Because that love is what is going to get us through the dark times in this whole next decade ahead. Pluto in Aquarius is like very clear now that the dark overlords in the world it's related to this extreme push into tech, into wanting to be disconnected, into everything that disconnects and causes us to want to connect into something that's unnatural, right? And I mean, that's pretty much been the theme since forever of how evil works in the world. But the heart is the one that will prevail, and Leo rules the heart. With Jupiter in Leo now for the next 12 months, or maybe 11 months now, this is the year where we really root into the heart, where we learn how to feel into the heart and expand deeper into the heart than we have in a long time because of the necessity for us to do so, And so these are very exciting times. The thing to look at this week is, where's my fear? Where's my fear to build a deeper life around discipline, around limiting myself in a way that builds my self-esteem? And just notice how much your self-esteem builds when you cut out those cookies you shouldn't be eating, or when you learn to drink more water, or when you root in that spiritual discipline. Self-esteem builds when we lean into the practices, the actions, the routines that we know our higher self wants us to do, which is what we truly want to do. And so that only comes through our capacity to build our mindfulness. Hello, Gia. As our mindfulness increases, which is something of the spirit, when we allow the spirit to infuse the mind, it's not just something built on intellect. It comes through meditation, through prayer, but really through the transmutation of desire. You have to want it, because some would say we always only ever get what we want. And so wanting it is learning how to tap into this heart energy here that Leo is really building into our psyches here. We still have Mars in Gemini for this week, and this week, there's still a big push here to want to learn, to want to explore. Venus spends her last few days in Virgo here, and then moves into Libra on Thursday. So there will be a vibe shift happen here this week, especially with Venus leaving Virgo. Venus has been there in Virgo and helped to see the South Node out and move into Leo. And Venus has been holding it down as far as where do we need to fall more in love with our healing, fall more in love with a partner who is also committed to growth, fall more in love with anything that adds efficiency and functionality to our lives and helps us do better and be better. And now with Venus coming into Libra this week on Thursday, this is about how do we lean more now into those relationships, those partnerships that are going to get us where we want to go and move us more into a deeper state of love and joy. And so there's more about sharing that starts to kick on this week, and less about staying in our shell. That'll really hit, though, on Sunday, August 9th, when Mercury finally leaves Cancer and then jumps into Leo. And after that, we're going to see communication change. We're going to see a lot of charisma light up. We're going to see more energy to want to engage with other people. And it's going to be a beautiful time to have Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun, and, of course, the South Node all there in Leo. Thank you, Gia, for the badge. You're so sweet. Mwah. Mwah! So, I love you. So, is it too soon to say I love you? I love you. This is and I want to interpret South Node in Leo, which we have here for 18 months, real quick. And then I'm going to get to your chart here, Melanie. And then after your chart, I'm going to go hit the gym. And after the gym, I'm going to go to work. So, South Node in Leo doesn't mean that the negative space is Leo energy. It means like that is where it will be concentrated, that is where it will be exposed, is in tyrant energy, being too egotistical, being too unbalanced in your own. I don't want to use the word self-belief. I don't want to use the word confidence, because the root word of confidence is to confide in. It's trust. It's when you trust in God, then you can trust in yourself and the power that moves you. But it is about being too, oh, I got this. I can control this. I can do all this on my own. Leo does have this capacity to be, the dark side of Leo is being a bit too much of a loner, because the true side of Leo is the lion, which is a pack animal. They work as a family, as a pride. So the South Node in Leo is going to say, we do need to learn how to connect from our hearts into this Aquarian world. How do we bring more heart into the internet, into our groups, our communities? How do we bring more heart into the world? And that's why I said on my full moon video, this is about understanding what is blocking your heart from connecting with your world. Where is it still just your heart in your room, or your heart and you and your stuffed animals, or your heart and your meditation routine, and oh wow, my heart's so expanded. Now my heart's so expanded, I'm just going to go take a bath. And we need to lean into more heart-based service. Each of us, we need to find a way that we can just learn how to give a little bit more from your heart. You know something that other people need to know. You've learned something that is worth sharing with other people. But that thing needs to come from joy. It's not gonna hit as hard anymore if it's like, oh, this is my duty. I must set up this webinar and now I have to invite 20 people. It's gotta be just more like, hey, I wanna do this. And if money comes, that's great. And if not, I don't care, because this is something I want to share. And that desire to want to share something is going to be this energy that gives you that confidence, that Leo energy, that self-belief for you to do the next thing with passion, with strength, with balanced sense of pride, and God will guide you. God will always continually guide you, but this is not about being distracted with Mars and Gemini. And this is not about needing to be insatiably learning every next thing so you can do it in the right way. This is about you trusting that you already have the right way to do it. And you're going to learn as you go. So, yeah, this week, Sun trine Saturn. It's very stable this week. It is really stable energy. And you can start to materialize quicker and quicker the life you want. It'll blow your mind how it all just starts to come together. And the most cool part about learning that you can have the things you want is that, wow, okay, yeah, I can direct this ship. And anything that I imagine, any scenario, any type of relationship, any type of work environment that I want, I can have that. That exists for you. In the quantum level, the Garden of Eden is this existence where everyone is winning. That timeline exists where everyone has what they want, where everyone is fulfilled, where everyone is living out their heart's purpose. That exists, And so each of us need to learn how to tune in to that own frequency of our own, and not let the lack of fulfillment of other people who are not fulfilled stop you from you finding your fulfillment. Because one iota of you holding yourself back does not move anyone else forward. Everyone in your life moves forward as you move forward. And sometimes to us, to our human perception, it looks like others are moving backward or getting worse. But that's your own judgment. How do you know Because in my life, the times when things got worse, the times when I suffered immense physical pain and suffering and loneliness, you could say those things were worse for me. But in the grand scheme, that was catapulting me forward into greater joy, into greater relationships, greater abundance. And if you tried to take that pain away from me, you would be robbing me of that incredible path. So everyone's on a path, and you are the one judging if that path is good or bad, And you don't even see where it's all leading. You don't even see that for your own self. So stay in the heart, stay present, don't judge what is good, what is bad. If something makes you cry, then cry. And that's the big thing with this week too, with this last quarter moon in Taurus. You have to allow, you don't have to, but it's advised that you allow emotions to flow through your body completely unimpeded. Don't let the mind interpret and get involved, and the mind will do that, but don't worry about what the mind has to say about it. Focus on feeling the emotion as it flows through your body, because you can't commit if you're not in your body. You can't commit to a partner if you're not in your body. You can't commit to a career path if you're not in your body. You can't commit to your healing and your joy if you're not in your body, if you're dissociated up in your head, living in your imagination about how things should be and should look and aren't, and want it to be this way. And your heart knows what it wants. You know what you want. You might not know it intellectually yet, but you know it in your belly, especially if you've reached your Saturn return. You know in your belly what joy is like and what you want more of and what you want less of too. And that wisdom will guide you. All you have to do is tune into the wisdom, this resonance that is actually in your heart, and let that guide you. And how do you let that guide you? By learning to be in that resonance. It's that simple. And let me give you an exercise right here. How much effort does it take to just be right now in this moment? Just tune in, see how much effort is it taking. Okay, now put some effort into just being. Go ahead and apply some effort into being, see what that's like. Okay, my next question for you is, did your level of being increase or decrease at all by attempting to put effort into it? Or did you notice how it's just a constant state and nothing can be removed and nothing can be added to it? It's just your eternal, immortal state of being, which can't be added to nor taken away. Did you notice that? Did you notice, even more importantly, how your being, just being, can't be efforted? Because I was checking a little more energy towards it. Where is it? How do you put more energy into being? Notice how just being is already happening. It's just already here. It's the base layer of existence, the groundless ground. Then we can add feeling, thinking, talking, all these things to it. But the being is there, requiring no effort. It's like the background on which the screen is projected. It's like the substratum that has to be there so that anything else can be efforted. But the being itself can't be efforted. You cannot apply effort into being. So the thing that you are, the thing that you already are, and the thing that you need to tune into here if you want to follow your heart, requires no effort. What did you guys think about that? So this revelation should show you that mind takes effort, doing takes effort, trying takes effort, but the thing that you are, your essential being, you can't put effort into. It's not possible to apply effort into that. So that's this ease here that this week Saturn trine Sun is going to help us lean into. With Saturn in this fire sign Aries, Saturn's at fall. It's like you can't effort your way into, a life of more ease. So the way is to learn to, go with the flow in a sense, but also understand that each each frequency that you can tune into right now has its own flow. And you tune into a frequency based on your attention. But if you remove your attention from all outside sources and just bring it back into what's the effortlessness state, your attention rests in the heart. And that's a place that we would call authenticity. Because now you're not applying focus or effort into, I want to be happy, or focus and effort into something that makes you sad, and now you're sad. And you might say you don't want to be sad, but all your attention is going there, so now you're sad. And so control of the attention is what it's all about. But then I think we do get to a state where it's not that we have to, we can roll with things as it comes. Something sad enters our awareness, we can be with that. It's just about being present with all that arises, but understanding that underneath it all is still just the you that is there. So I'll give you this, and then I'm going to jump into Melanie's chart here. Effortless, heart-led being. Exactly, Gia. Exactly. When I meditate, this is what I do. So I prefer the down and in meditation to get into the body, as opposed to the up and out meditation that kind of puts you in outer space and then kind of in your head. Because again, we can't commit if we're not in our body to whatever it is in life. And the greatest things come through commitment. The word decide, decision, is connected to the word incision, because to decide means to cut away at every other possible decision. And you can't make a decision if you don't cut away at everything else and make it that singular decision. So all the greatest things come through the body when we give a full bodily yes to something, right? And that also strengthens our no to bullshit, to things we don't want. But as I meditate, here's what I do. I just start to get into this contemplative mode. Contemplation is very helpful because it is a contemplation. It's a seeking into. It's a conversation in a way as well. And it can deepen your consciousness into what it is you're contemplating. And I contemplate, where is my awareness coming from? So I'm aware of sounds. I'm aware of the slight whiz of the fan. I can hear birds outside. I can hear the neighbors working. I'm aware of the chair underneath my booty. I'm aware that there are clothes on my body. I'm aware of how all these things. And so the awareness is just there, touching all these things, but where is the awareness arising from? And this contemplation causes me to make contact with all the things that are in my awareness, as opposed to trying to dissociate or try to tune out the neighbor's dog. Instead, I'm becoming one with the world around me that my awareness is aware of. Whether you want to say the awareness is containing it all, or whatever you'd like. My heart, because if I trace the source of my awareness, I'm aware that it's coming from my heart. But that's just from my exploration. Before it was, it's coming from my senses, which is more in this area. Are we good? Are we here? That way of exploring keeps you in the present, keeps you in the world, in the physical world, not dissociated from it, but right where life is happening. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, we're good. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to jump into Melanie's chart here. I love y'all. The main thing is stay present. I look at the astrology charts because I want to know what time it is. I want to know what age I'm in. But ignore the astrology. Don't, I'm at a place where I'm like, just ignore everything. It's more important that you trust in God, who is infinite, infinitely wise, and lives in your heart. That's more important. That's the foundation. That's more important than looking at the heavens, than looking at the clock and trying to define or decide what's going to happen or who you are. There's an energy inside you that's guiding you all the time. You just need to know that. You just need to trust that. Once you have that knowing, that transcends all thinking. And that will guide your decisions that you make. You don't ever make the right decision. You just make your decisions right by making it from that place. And we don't fully understand how timelines work. You making decisions from that timeline could correct all the future mistakes that might be made in that timeline if you just keep making it from that choice. So if you are scared that what if I pick this person, but I'm picking the wrong person, and then that leads me to waste all these years on that person, and then they end up cheating on me and blah, 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 blah. You will manifest that timeline if you're getting with that person from that untrusting place, you know? But a timeline does, maybe that has to happen for you to learn all the lessons you need to learn. Who knows? But if the quantum is real, the quantum level of existence, which we've seen that it is a thing, then that means every timeline exists. So the timeline where it's perfect also exists as well. The question is, how do we get into that perfect resonance? That would be my question. So how do I learn to resonate from that perfection? Like it says in scripture, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. How do I resonate from that perfection even when the reality is showing, oh no, this person is betraying you, or that thing's happening, blah, blah, blah. How do you just stay steady and go, nope, stay in that resonance of trust in God. So these are the things I think about. Okay, so Melanie, it is August 3rd, and we're going to pull up your chart here. So, Melanie, I really appreciate your Cash App. Thank you so much. If anyone here wants a reading of your chart, feel free to donate. The links are in the pinned comment there down below. PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, whatever you can afford, and I will pull up your chart here live. So, Melanie, you finally have the North Node pulling away from your Sun. So it's going to feel less and less like things are constantly getting thrown at you. And it's going to feel more like, with the North Node in Aquarius in your 6th, how do you lead forward from a place of just being honest with yourself, doing what is healthiest for you, and listening to your body to guide you to stay in that zone of taking care of yourself better than anyone else is. And you're so welcome. She says, thank you. You needed that message. I appreciated my monthly reading too. Thank you. You're so welcome. If any of you also want a reading of your monthlies, you just got to go to my Patreon and sign up to be a light worker there. You'll get personalized monthlies every month. 20-minute long videos. So right now, this is a preparation for that Leo solar eclipse, which will hit in your 12th house. There's a lot getting cleared out, especially subconsciously. This would be the week to really consider what it is that is keeping you blocked or trusting when it comes to changing or being changed by experiences. With Saturn that's in your 8th house, there could be a fear of depth, of connection. The 8th house, of course, does rule over sex and rebirth. And so there's a need here to look at the long-term factor of how do I keep relating with my world and with the people in it in a way that will work on me, that will expose me to myself so that I can see who I am and how I need to grow, who I need to become to get the real juice out of life that I really want. And the Sun is working with that, supporting that now to say, okay, how do I deepen in my spiritual practices, so that I can have the fearlessness to connect, because I've connected so deeply with God in my heart. Now everything else is a a byproduct of that. So every person I meet is a fragment of God, and everything that I do is worship. And so the sun with Jupiter and the 11th in your 11th house right now is sort of expanding your social circle and expanding your desires to want to connect with your world. Now, as the sun begins to cross over your 12th house this week, and then there will be the solar eclipse there in your 12th. That's going to be a big moment here, and that's going to it's going to help you see new angles to things. It is in opposition to your Mercury. It's going to help you clear old energies out that maybe you didn't even know were there. The 12th house does rule the subconscious and, different parts of the mind that are in the shadow, things that we don't know are in our psyche. So this does heavily relate to dreams, which is like your subconscious ability to purge things and experience things that you don't know that you need to experience. And this week is helping you build a little more solidity in yourself to go into the world, to penetrate the world, and to be transformed by seeing what comes through you as you move into the world more fully. So there is a fearlessness that you're starting to develop here. And I think that's really important. And fearlessness is developed by, leaning into the things that we're afraid to do. So many times it doesn't feel fearless. It doesn't feel like you're super fearless. It's like when you work out at the gym, you feel freaking weak because you're lifting heavy things. And so the same thing is happening in your spirit. As you might be going through certain tests right now that feel hard. This is just helping you to define your true spirit in the midst of the world, in the trials of the world. But understand that none of it is physical. All lessons are essentially spiritual. It's just being learned through the physical body. And so you're gaining a lot of wisdom, especially about who you invest in and how you invest into different people in your life. And it's just important that you don't grow, that you stay light and you stay easy and you stay free, Melanie, because growing bitter or hard, hardening your heart would be one of the downfalls of Saturn in your 8th house of sex, death, and rebirth. And it might, obviously, this also has to do with temptation as well. And we all have different temptations that our soul is predisposed to deal with. And so this is an important moment to trust yourself and to, of course, trust in God, because things will subconsciously start to let up, all on your behalf. But this is the week with that last quarter moon in Taurus and your 9th house, Melanie, to say, okay, what are the beliefs that need to be cleared out? And how do I purge it through my body, through deep breathing, through stretching, through actually moving energy in my body? And so that the next time I take a big, deep in-breath, I'm breathing in this new and empowered belief that I want to anchor in to myself. So just keep trusting yourself. I mean, as far as your chart looks, I think you've already gone through a lot of the worst. You're already done. You're done with Pluto on your Venus. You're done with the North Node on your Sun. And so now you're just looking forward to a world that's unpredictable, but incredibly exciting. And it really is exciting. Uranus is going to be opposing your Uranus in the next few years. Several years down the line, you're going to be going through your Chiron return. And several years down the line, also Pluto will conjunct your Mercury. So you're just headed towards more and more of a renewal of your mind, a transforming of your own mind, how you communicate, how you see the world, how you move into new experiences with heightened presence and confidence and optimism. So, yeah, a lot of good things on the way. And this Leo new moon is going to be the time to really, for us all, to really anchor in a new positive state of mind and expectation about life. You know, as some great billionaire said, some banker, he said, strangely, when whatever you expect to happen does tend to happen. So we do have to evaluate our expectations, and that's an interesting thing too. We're told, have no expectations, just stay open, and that's true. But also, expect the best, because you are the best. Everything's created from the I am. If you know that I am the best, I am a child of God, and God is an incredible, loving Father, you just expect the best. Like, look at children. The children will just expect, if they have a good mother and father, they'll be wasteful. They'll waste some food. They'll take a bite and then throw the rest away. Is that wasteful, or is that trusting that their father will provide for them? And we're advised to be the same way. Be a child. Have the heart of a child to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Because God's mind is bigger than our rationality. Sometimes we're called to do things in the Spirit that others would say is not rational. What are you doing? That's not logical. But it's like, having the heart of a child means understanding that your spiritual father will guide you, will provide for you, will care for you in all ways. That's why sometimes you're moved to give in a way that just makes no sense. Especially some people with a very intuitive second house. But, God, that's one of the things that helps strengthen the soul is almsgiving, is charity. It's one of the best ways we can develop ourselves. And it's not talked about a lot because, we live in a culture that's mainly materialistic and not really spiritual based. But I think that's changing here. I really do think that that's part of how the world is changing. That's where a lot of the courage is being called forth in all of us with these Leo transits, is how it opposes that Pluto and Aquarius with the North Node, where we're moving into an incredible, vast world that will become a lot more connected and yet at the same time a lot more isolated. Because as this light of connection grows, the shadow of disconnection grows with it. And it's this Leo energy that's going to lead the way. And wherever we see the age moving into, and we are moving into the age of Aquarius, those ages have always looked to the opposite sign to understand how to navigate it. And the opposite sign here is Leo. So the heart is what it is all about. That's why there's incredible discoveries about the heart coming through. I recommend this book, The Secrets of the Heart, by, I forget his name. I better look it up since I'm Secrets of the Heart book. I think his name is Michael. No, that's not his name. I can't think of it right now. It's in my car. Sorry, I'll go look at what it is. But anything you can read up on the heart or understand about the heart is worth looking into now. That's going to be the flaming sword that cuts through the darkness of BS. And it's not easy. The heart feels, But when we see that there's pleasure in the heartbreaking, then we develop a fearlessness where we're not afraid to let our hearts break for the sake of loving. I love you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.